Hang on to your seat, baby, cause this one's a screamer, a screamer.
I just want to know, which wall do you want to get back into? A Bootz? Pick a wall. Pick a wall. I just want to say that I look fabulous. I feel fabulous. Y'all, what is going on? I wanted to talk about Bootz going on One More Chance's Sheree Smalls' podcast and basically calling out Monique and talking about her experience with Monique. Since Monique is in the headlines, I sort of want to compare what is going on now to what went on then with Monique. So before I get started, make sure you guys hit that like button and make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. So shout out to Sheree Smalls. You guys, since leaving One More Chance, she started her own podcast and it's going very, very successful from what I'm seeing. She's had a lot of successful guests and, in my opinion, inspired Rocky to start her own podcast herself, to be honest. So shout out to her for doing that, because I like to see people that be on these like reality shows kind of like grow on and kind of do their own thing afterwards and not just let the reality show be the only thing that they're kind of known for. So shout out to Charisse for that, for her Bad and Bougie podcast. So Big the other day went on the podcast and had a lot to say about just her experience doing charm school and everything. So first she started talking about the social media breakdowns. Back then there was no Instagram, there was no Twitter, there was, you feel me, there was any spaces to talk shit on. It was only really MySpace. So she was talking about how like it was a little bit more comfortable for people to be themselves on TV back then. They didn't have to worry about so much hate because in MySpace, you know, you had to accept them up to be on your page. So I thought that was kind of funny that she mentioned that, because that's like a throwback, because right now MySpace isn't in right now. So that was funny that she mentioned that. And then she gets into Monique, y'all. So she started talking about how Monique is sort of like a hypocrite because of all the things she said at the reunion, you know, the infamous reunion of Charm School, y'all. Infamous reunion where she basically calls out Larissa, and you know the famous speech. If my mom didn't have to dig in my ass and tell me when to wake up, I would be just like you, like a little girl, Larissa. Right? Remember that? But every day now, Miss Monique is on social media beefing and not getting along with somebody. So apparently her mom didn't dig in her ass enough, girl. So yeah. She felt like Monique was fake because she was mad at her at the Charm School reunion for cursing and acting like disrespectfully. But this is why I think Larissa's correct about her being a hypocrite, because years later on, Monique hosted the Love and Hip Hop reunion. And you guys already know what Love and Hip Hop is known for: cussing, fighting, pussy popping, backbiting, all of that. So it is hypocritical of her to sort of like reprimand Larissa and then be so ashamed of them at the reunion and everything. And then years on later, you're kikiing with people that are doing not even the same, but probably worse, because some of them almost fought at that reunion, to be honest. Because remember that reunion, they stepped on her foot. Remember they stepped on Monique's feet. She was just like, God damn it, one of y'all stepped on my feet. Remember that? So I was just kind of like, what the hell? Don't get me wrong though. Larissa's not innocent. We all know back then she was very disrespectful. Before there was an Erica Mena and all these all these girls that's on TV, Natalie Nuns and all them that's on TV and these streaming networks, there was a Larissa, aka Bootz. Pick a wall. I want you to pick a wall. Before there was, you feel me? It was Bootz. So she was very disrespectful back then. You could tell she had like a little girl complex. So I'm not excusing all the stuff that Larissa did, but I am just comparing the fact that she is right with some of the stuff that she says pertaining to Monique, because she's a hypocrite, because you can't be talking crap and talking down to them. And then on the Love and Hip Hop reunion, Erica Mena was talking all types of stuff, talking about, oh, he ate my really good, like all this type of vile stuff. And you didn't say nothing to Erica Mena like, hey, stop it. You get what I'm saying? So I kind of agree with what she was saying. And then she also talked about how she ran into Monique in public. And basically she went to the same doctor that Monique's friend is at, because Monique's friend at one point was pregnant at the same time she was pregnant. So they both had the same doctor. So when they went there, they ran into Monique. So Monique was sitting there And then the friend that was pregnant of Monique's smiled at her. She's like, "Oh, that's the friend of the show. That's the friend. That's the girl on the show, Flavor of Love." And then she said she looked back at Monique, and Monique gave her an evil smile and said, "Hi, Bootz." I'm playing. She didn't say that, but she just gave her like an evil look or whatever, and didn't really say anything to her. Which I'm kind of just like, girl, that show is not that serious. You could have spoken, and be like, "Hello, how you doing? Hope your pregnancy turns out good." But in my opinion, I don't really like Monique because I feel like she's a huge hypocrite. I feel like a lot of the stuff that she says and preaches, she doesn't really follow. I don't like that. When somebody you preach something but you don't go by it, to be honest. Like when I remember like all the stuff she used to complain about falling out with Lee Daniels, Tyler Perry did her wrong, blase blah, she got betrayed, all of this stuff. And then I'm just like, it can't be all these people are just forming an alliance against you. Like I just don't see that happening. And with this whole DL Hughley situation versus her, it's kind of like exposing the fact that hey, maybe all these people weren't the problem and it might have been her. So yeah, I'm glad that people are kind of opening their eyes to her because to me, that whole sweetheart, my babies, I don't really believe in that. I just don't think it's authentic. I think it's all fake and for show, right? So the funny thing that she mentioned in the interview, which was hilarious, she said that she was told it was going she thought it was gonna be Charm School was going to be into an apprentice show. So she thought that they were gonna show up and it was gonna be a apprentice show like the one Donald Trump hosted, and that the person that was gonna host it was gonna be Kamora Lee Simmons because Baby Fat was hot at the time. I said, "Yeah, no, you ain't lying." That is hilarious. When I heard that, I was like, "Wow." So VH1 back then, like they didn't kind of run how they run now. Like they used to not tell you a lot of stuff before you get casted on the show. So I wasn't surprised at this at all because back then you just were happy to get casted on a show. You didn't know what the show was going to be about or anything like that. A lot of the girls from Flavor of Love, they weren't even told who like the first season. I don't even think they knew 100% sure whose love they were going to be fighting for. They just knew it was going to be a dating show. You get what I'm saying? A lot of the VH1 shows ran like that. So that didn't surprise me, but I thought it was hilarious because Kamora Lee Simmons, imagine her coming out with them baby fat jeans, talking about, "Hey guys," you feel me? That would have been comedic effect. And she ended off the interview with talking about her fibroids and everything like that. And you know what I thought about a moment she started talking about that? Remember on the season 7 Real Housewives of Atlanta reunion when Cynthia and Phaedra was going back about the fibroids thing? Phaedra is a nasty girl because she would low key like poke fun at Cynthia about her whole fibroids thing. And if you guys don't know, fibroids can end up being cancerous. So that whole back and forth between them about the whole fibroids thing, when you really look back at it, it's really disgusting. When she was like, she's sitting on Captain Crunch and she's sitting on Aquafina, that is so messed up because that's not really cool because that's a health condition that can be very chronic. So that's the first thing it kind of remind me of. So it's glad that the fibroids thing didn't end up affecting her a lot and that she's doing fine now, right? So that mostly ended it all. They ended up bringing like a guest to talk about more in detail about fibroids and everything like that. She talked about how she's starting her own line and everything like that, and just basically moving on with her life. So yeah, as you guys know, the latest thing we've seen of her on online was her beefing with Shay from Love and Hip Hop Miami, aka the on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta too, with Scrappy's side chick. Remember when Erica got the ring? She said yes, and she put her arms up, and then Shay had that Donald Trump wig on and then walked off. That Shay. So yeah, if you guys did check out the interview, let me know what you guys thought about it. It was really funny, and like I think it was hilarious some of the stuff that she mentioned that were happening back then. She talked about some stuff about how like Monique, I guess, was jealous because back then they used to have industry events and she would attend them and Monique would be there and with like Larissa would attend them with her publicist because the publicist was able to get her into high exclusive events and Monique would see that and I think Monique got kind of jealous because she's just like, damn, you didn't put any work to get into these events, you just ended up on a reality show, which a lot of celebrities end up doing that. They do not like reality stars because they feel like you got an easy way into Hollywood and you didn't put in the work by acting, being a part of social media or anything like that. So I wasn't surprised she felt that type of way, but like I've said before, I still think Monique is a hypocrite. Okay, big old hippo. Hypocrite. Okay. Let me know what you guys think about this interview and entertainers. We are out, baby.
Ain't no personal thing.